This is just a brief video to follow up on some of the comments I made in my previous two videos on MX-17. With the last video, I mentioned that I had downloaded the app image of Kdenlive version 17.12, but that the app image didn't work. So I used version 16.12, which was available on the Debian stable repositories. Since then, I've looked at Debian unstable in Seduction, and the version of Kdenlive 17.12 that's in the Debian unstable repositories works fine. So apparently it was the app image that didn't work, not Kdenlive 17.12 itself. I decided to see whether the snap or flatpak of Kdenlive 17.12 worked any better, and I discovered that snaps and flatpaks don't work with MX-17. The reason seems to be that MX-17 doesn't use systemd. Now, it's packaged with systemd in the ISO, but systemd is disabled by default. And while it's possible to enable systemd, it isn't recommended because it isn't fully implemented in MX-17. Now, there seems to be a workaround, but it's very complicated, and as far as being simple to use, snaps and flatpaks are not simple to use with MX-17. Now, app images work in some cases. For instance, the app image of MuseScore 2.1 worked fine, but the app image of Kdenlive 17.12 didn't work. Let me just demonstrate one thing. I installed snapd. But when I try to list what snaps are available, enter my password, it says cannot list snaps, cannot communicate with server. This is a typical error message that you get when trying to use or install snaps in MX-17, even if you have installed snapd. I haven't tried flatpaks, but I understand from reading in the various blogs about MX-17 that flatpaks don't work either, and for the same reason. So that means that my comment on the previous video, my first video about MX-17, that you could make up for the old software in the Debian stable repository by installing app images, snaps, or flatpaks was an error. You can install app images, but not snaps or flatpaks, at least without great difficulty. So the next thing I decided to do was to see what was available for Kdenlive and Debian backports. However, Debian backports are a little difficult to use. The way they work, when you install the backport repository, all of the software listed in there is disabled by default, and what you do is you enable only the packages you want. That way the backports don't override your regular repositories. But that means you have to change your sources list. There's a special command you have to enter into the terminal. It's not for the inexperienced user. However, here's another case where MX-17 shines. I'm going to go to MX Tools and then to the MX Package Installer. Enter my password. By the way, on my other videos, you may have noticed I didn't always enter my password when you would expect it. That's because with MX Linux, you have a choice of entering it once per session and not having to enter it again for that session. And if you don't like that, if you think that's too risky, you can always disable that function. Instead of the version of Kdenlive that comes with popular applications here, I went to the full app catalog. And here it gives you a choice: stable repo, MX test repo, or Debian backports repo. There's a warning, etc. It's downloading package information. Updating package list. So I'll search for Kdenlive. And it doesn't find anything. So let me try the MX test repo. Now I search for Kdenlive. And as you can see, it has version 17.08.3. Notice it's not available in the stable repo. It doesn't show it here, but I actually installed this. And this is the version that's available in Ubuntu 17.10. It's not the latest version of Kdenlive, but it's a lot later than version 16.12, which is in the Debian stable repositories. So now when I click on Kdenlive, I have version 17.08.3, and this works. So I just wanted to make those points to clarify my last two videos on MX-17, and should I discover anything else interesting, I'll follow up with another video. This is XRAM Tech. Thanks for watching.